Hey everybody, it's Kelly with Inky Hands Warm Hearts. How are you guys? So happy to be here with you today. One of the reasons that I wanted to use this fantastic bundle, well not bundle, die set, excuse me. It's called Paper Florist Dies, is because I just did not think that you guys could see them that well. They're in the back of the catalog. They don't go with any particular die set. They're just kind of standalone dies, but I have to tell you, they are fantastic. They're right here on page 165, and there they are. They're $37 in the US, and they are amazing. I am going to be showing you these all week, and I would love it if by the end of the week I have convinced you to get these. They're one of my favorite new die sets in the new catalog, and one of the first things that I ordered actually when it came time to order from the new catalog. So this is the card we're going to make today, and I have used Charming Sentiments for my sentiment, Beyond Grateful, right here. And I have also used the Stylish Shaped dies for the largest circle. You guys know how much I love my shape dies, but I love all kinds of dies, and this Paper Florist die to me is super beautiful. I have used a little bit of all the different parts and pieces that you see here to put this card together, because I just wanted to show you the variety of florals that you could get with this particular bundle. Or not, I keep calling it a bundle, but it's not a bundle, with these particular dies. The paper that I paired it with today is the Bright and Beautiful 6x6 Designer Series paper, so check that out. I'm going to move my dies to the side, and I will be referring to them, so I'm just going to leave them here so that you guys can see. I'm trying to see if I can, yeah, that's good, I think. I don't know, maybe on an angle would be better. All right, we'll leave them like this, and then I'll bring them in to talk about what we're gonna do. So the first thing, of course, is going to be to use my Simply Scored. You guys know how much I love this board. And our base of our card is 8.5 by 5.5. And of course, we're going to score it at the 4¼ inch mark, which is the halfway. All right, let's put my scoreboard back, and we're going to burnish. So I like to turn and put the corners, piece them together, one on top of the other. Then I grab my bone folder and I press towards that score mark. And to me, that's the best way. So if you give me a second, I am going to pull out all my parts and pieces, and I'm going to line those up for you. So I told you we have our largest circle from the Stylish Shapes dies. Don't forget about that. And give me 1 second. I'm going to pull all these little pieces out for you, and I need to cut myself a liner for the inside of our card. I decided that I wanted to have a white liner on the inside, and it's a piece of basic white cardstock, same as our Stylish Shapes. This is going to go on the inside, and then I have a 1/2 inch by 5¼ inch piece of the Designer Series paper from the Bright, and it's the one that has the triangle pattern back. It has this solid, pretty gradated piece, which is what I'm going to use for the front. And this is going to be on the top like this. And then the one that has the big spots has this really cool stripe. I wanted my stripe to go across, so that's going to be the front of our card. So let's go ahead and glue all this together, put it all together and get started. So I'm going to move this. We'll start with our stripe. I'm going to use my wet adhesive. So the Bright and Beautiful has so many different patterns, but it has some really beautiful ombre gradated pieces in the same colors that are in the DSP. So that makes it fun. Excuse me, oh my goodness. I think I've done that at least 2 other times on videos before. So there is our striped piece. And of course, I'm going to use my roller just to make sure that it's nice and adhered. So I'm going to put it in place and then I'm going to go ahead and roll that. Then for our triangular piece, I'm going to put this piece and layer it here. I forgot to give you the dimensions, so let me do that real quick. I think this one's 2.5. Yes, 2.5 inches by 4. And I believe this one is 3. Yeah, 3 by 4. So 3 by 4 for the pink and 2.5 by 4 for the stripes. And if you prefer your stripes to go up and down, you can do that. I just wanted mine to go across. All right, so here's our solid piece. And then the colors that I used of cardstock for our flowers are gonna be Bubble Bath and Lemon Lolly, which is the yellow that the base, the card base is. All right, then I'm gonna grab my adhesive remover and just make sure that around all my edges I had nothing stuck, because I like to double check that always. All right, so let's do our inside. So this is our base of the front. For the inside, of course, we have a 4 by 5.25 inch piece, and this is 5.25 by 1/2 inch, and it's from the same pattern, the one with the triangles, and I just cut a 1/2 inch by 5.25. All right, and for this piece, we're gonna add that and leave a little border of white on the edge. I like to leave that little line, especially when I go top to bottom. And then if I have anything, I usually cut it a little long, but let's trim this edge and make it uniform. That's what I love about this little guillotine cutter. You can cut like the tiniest hair off. And there we go. So that's our inside piece. So let's go ahead and attach that. It's our inside liner. A neutral really grounds the inside of your card, I think, especially when you're doing a little bit more of an elegant or formal type card. And so we're gonna slide this around, which is why I love this glue so much. All right, so there's our inside. So we have our inside and our outside of our card ready to go. So the next step here is our circle, and it's going to live about there. We are going to stamp it with basic gray. I didn't want black. I thought it would be too stark with these pastels. So I've chosen to use basic gray. And we're going to stamp the Beyond Grateful. gonna move my card base out of the way. I like to use my silicone mat kind of as an anchor, and we'll put it, I don't know, a little bit above half and to the left. There we go. So Beyond Grateful. Isn't that pretty? I think so. All right, let me clean my stamp. We're gonna move on to our florals. So I'm gonna show you the pieces that we used and the dies that go with them. So the first thing I'm gonna do is just slide all these pieces out. Okay, I'm gonna show you all the parts and pieces and what cut those out. All right, so this piece here is our fringe, and this is the die that cuts that. Okay, then we have 1, 2, and 3, and then there's a little starred piece, if I can find it. Come on. Oh, I don't think I cut it. I don't see it. Let me see. I think I cut everything but that piece, but this is the die. I'm gonna cut one real quick for you guys. Let me grab a scrap of lemon lolly. And I will run that quickly through the die cut machine. I can't believe that I forgot that one. Well, I mean, I can believe it, right? Everybody. I'm gonna move these guys out of the way so that they don't stick to my machine. All right, so let's put this in place and put our and crank it through our baby machine. Hopefully I didn't forget anything else. I don't think I did. All right, but let's keep the machine over here just in case. All right, so we need this piece. Isn't this cute? This little, all right. So let's talk about that again. So for this flower, we're gonna need one of these, okay? And then this cuts out 3 petals, so there they are. See? Cut 3 at the same time. And then you need this one for this. And that is going to make this large flower right here. So that's going to be number 1. All right, let's talk about our next flower. So the next one, we'll do the next yellow one. So we're going to need this one. And this one. Oops. And this one. And one of these teeny tiny little pieces. So for that one, you're going to use this die. You only need 2 of them. So just grab a scrap and just lay it over just 2 of the pieces. You're going to need that little star shape. And that's what it looks like. And then for this piece, it cuts 4 at a time. And that is that die right there. Okay. And that is going to make this yellow flower right here. We're going to move on to this yellow one next. So for this one, we're going to need 2 of these. And then we're going to need 2 of these. Okay. So this is how you cut these. So you need 2 scraps to cut these 2 smaller ones. Those are the bigger ones. So you need 2 smaller ones. And then for the circle pieces, they're on here, okay? So you need the large stitched and the small stitched dies. That one and that one for those. And that makes this yellow flower. All right, let's move on to the pink flowers. Well, I do have one more yellow flower. This is our stem. This is Lost Lagoon. All the yellows are Lemon Lolly, but this is Lost Lagoon, and it cuts out this piece. And then there's this piece right here, and it cuts out the 3 little buds that fit on our stem, okay? So that's also Lemon Lolly, and that's on the inside. I put that on the inside, okay? So there's that one. So now on to our pink flowers, which are Bubble Bath. So let's do the largest one first. We're gonna start with this one. So this one takes a large of this one, a large of this one, a small of this one, and then one of that. So let's talk about the dies. So this die set right here, we're gonna need 1 large, 1 small, so 2 of these. And then we're gonna need 1 large one of that right here. And then a pink innard, which are these little speckled ones right here, the ones that have the dots. So the smallest speckled. That's gonna make this flower right here. Let's move on to this flower. So this next flower, we're gonna use a large one of these, then a small one of these, then another small one of these, and then instead of the speckled one, we're gonna use the stitched. So there's the stitched one. And then we used 1 large and 1 small. So you've used this whole strip. So if you cut one set of these, you can do both of those flowers with the X, the little X flowers. And then this one, you're going to need 1 small and 1 large, because those are make these 2 flowers. And then you need 1 stitched and 1 speckled of the small pieces. Okay. And then our last flower is this one right here. And that is this circle piece, that one. And then I chose to use the large dotted center, which is this one right here. All right, so that's what we use. You can take a screenshot if you wish. I'm gonna lay the leaves out so that you can see also what you need for leaves. Let me get those, and then you guys can take a screenshot. So you're gonna need 2 of that leaf, 1 of this leaf, and 2 of this leaf. All right, get your screenshot. Those are the parts and pieces to make this card. All right, I think I've given you a chance to get a screenshot. So let's go ahead and start assembling the different flowers. I'm gonna put my card right over here. We'll start with the largest yellow flower. And the first thing that I want to do is I'm gonna take my Lemon Lolly ink pad. I'm gonna actually move this out of the way. We'll put the Lemon Lolly in here. I'm gonna move my greenery out of the way and put it to the side. All right, and I'm gonna grab a scrap paper. And we're gonna start coloring, okay, with our small blending brush. So I have my Lemon Lolly blending brush, the small one, okay? And the first thing that I wanna do is I want to curl these leaves. So I'm gonna curl them by taking my bone folder and just running it along that edge of the paper, and it will curve it like that, like a potato chip. Okay, so we're going to do that first. Okay, and there is that. So you have your 3 petals, and we're gonna go ahead and grab some Lemon Lolly ink. I always brush off, I don't want too dark, and I'm gonna go around the edges of all 3 of these petals. And then I'll hold them up to the camera so that you guys can see. All right, so there's one. That's how they all look, okay? Now, here is the inside part. I'm just gonna put a little bit of brightness on it just by running my Lemon Lolly over it. Now, for this piece here, we're gonna use our Take Your Pick tool, okay? And we're gonna take this part here, we're gonna run it along that stylet, or the pointed end, okay? And we're just gonna start rolling it little by little all the way around. You see how it's rolling around that piece, okay? I'm gonna take it off of there, and I'm just gonna continue to roll it. I'm just holding on to it, and I'm just rolling it into a little tube, little by little. Just grabbing those pieces and rolling it in my fingertips. All right, and now I have this little tube, and I'm just gonna add a little bit of glue, a little bit of wet glue, right under there, under that spot. Tiny dot of glue, okay? And that's all you need. You're just gonna hold that in place. Just hold it for a second until it grabs. You just wanna make sure that your little roll is gonna stay held together. That's why I like using wet glue. It's very strong. So now you have this little tube. You're gonna take your fingers and you're gonna start pulling these little frayed pieces. You see how they're cut all the way around that end. You're just gonna press your fingers and pull these out. Okay, and the most important thing is that this stays stuck. So if it comes undone, just hold it in place till it grabs again. And then you're just unfurling these little frayed pieces, and then I just keep pulling on them till they're as wide as I want. And then you have this little piece that has all these little frayed pieces widened like that, okay? And all I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna add my Lemon Lolly just on those pieces, just add a little brightness just on there, okay? Let's glue our flower together. We'll be done with this flower. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of wet glue, not much, and I'm gonna tuck these pieces around each other like this. There's one, okay? And now I'm gonna add, again, a little bit of wetness on this piece here. And I'm gonna tuck it underneath so it will glue. And then this piece is gonna go on top. Now for the third piece, you wanna add some adhesive underneath that flap too. So you're gonna lift that up and stick it on top of that one. Just put a tiny squeeze of glue and hold that. You want your flower to be like a 3-legged stool, okay? Like that. So you have these cut pieces in the center. It doesn't really matter, we're gonna cover those up, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna stick a little bit of glue in the center of this floral piece right there, okay? And we're gonna stick this little flower right to it, right there, right in the middle. And just hold it for a second for it to grab. So there's our little floral piece, okay? Now we're gonna add onto this part of the bottom of that circle that we rolled. I'm just gonna add wet adhesive to those edges. And we're gonna stick that down straight onto that centerpiece. Or we're gonna try to. It looks like I must have, you wanna let this sit for a minute and really grab before you start doing the, you know, spreading those petals. It wasn't fully grabbed. I mean, it wasn't fully glued when I did that. So of course, when I did my card, I let it sit for a while and worked on my other flowers. But I want to do one flower at a time for you guys so that you know how to make them as you go. So we're going to put that on the bottom, and then we're just going to sit this right on top like it's just sitting in a chair. And we're just going to put that flower off to the side, okay? We're going to work on this flower next. So let's add some color. Again, I'm going to pick up some Lemon Lolly. And I'm just going to add some color to the ends. I just want a little bit of color on them. And then also on these tips, I want to add some color. I'm going to go ahead and color all of them, and then we'll put them together so I won't have to keep coloring them, and I can close my ink pad. All right, let's grab some more color. Same with this. We want to go around the edges. Just add a little bit of color. And you don't have to put color on them if you don't want. I just think that it adds a little bit of depth. No flower is the same color solid all the way through. So I like having a little bit of color added to my pieces, but you don't have to if you don't want to. All right, that's it for coloring of Lemon Lolly. So I'm gonna go ahead and move that one out of the way. All right, let's move on to our flower. So we're gonna put this one together next, okay? So this one here is going to be glued to this one. We're going to do, let me move this paper. We're going to do the opposite, okay? And then we're going to add a mini dimensional right here in the center. We'll pull the back off. And we're going to add this piece over the top. Okay. And then the last gets a dot of glue in the center. And we're going to put that little piece. Okay. And that is that flower. Now, the only thing I'm going to do with it is I'm going to curl these pieces back. The biggest flower petals, I'm just going to pull those backwards just by curling them around my bone folder. Okay, so that's that one. Now these here, I'm just going to bring them up here, and I'm going to put a dot of glue on the bottom. Or I'm gonna try to. My glue is all right. Hopefully, I'm gonna bring you guys down, I think. Here we go. Okay. See that? See those dots of glue on there? Then I'm going to take those and I'm going to start with the big flower first. Then this one goes here, I think. And the littlest one goes right there. So that's that one. That's our third one. Let's assemble this one together now. Okay. So we have these 4 pieces. All right. This one is going to be quite the little squashed bug. So we're going to take a dimensional and we're going to place it there, pull the back off. Then we're going to put this one. And then I'm going to put another dimensional. We're going to pull the back off. And then we're going to put this circle. And then we're going to put a mini dimensional, so you see all the little sandwiches that are happening here. We're going to pull the back off. And then this one goes on top. And that's how I made this flower. And this one doesn't need to be curled or anything, so it's just going to live like that, okay? Let's move on to our pink flower. Let's do the largest pink flower. So the largest one has this, 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 and this. And we are going to use Bubble Bath ink and our Bubble Bath blending brush. Okay. And we're going to bring in our paper again. And I'm just going to add a little bit on the ends. I just don't want it to be just one color, so I'm just adding a hint on the edges. Okay, so let's do this one. I'm just adding a little hint on the edges, okay? And then let's do our baby. And then our top. All right, for this one, I'm just gonna add the edges around this piece. This one gets this, and we're gonna just put one dimensional. This is all this one gets, okay? So there's that one. One dimensional sandwiched in between there. The one that we're working on right now is gonna get a dimensional after we put these flat. So we're gonna put this one here. We're gonna make that little X. Then we're gonna put a mini dimensional. And then one more. So that's one. And then we're going to put this on top. And then we're going to put another mini dimensional. And we'll pull the back off a bit. And then we're going to put this on top. All right, and for this one, I'm going to curl the large ends. And I'm going to curl them up. So that means I have to hold it backwards, because it's easier to press against the bone folder than it is to pull from the front. So we're just going to press down like that. Okay, see how that's curved? And then that is that flower. This one's a little flat. Let's curve it again. There we go. So that's how that flower is going to look with those little curves on the ends. All right, last flower. So for this flower, we're going to do this one as the back. We're going to put a mini dimensional right here. Oh, I forgot to color this one. Get the little tips ready. All right, let's pull the dimensional off. We're gonna add this one. Then we're gonna put some glue. And we're gonna add this one, like that. And then we're going to put another dimensional right there. And our last piece is going to get this one. I'm going to put a little bit of bubble bath on it. So just the bottom layer and the top layer have the added color. You see that? And no curling, but if you wanted to curl, I would curl that same one that we curled before forward. Here's our last one. Okay. So there's our little flower, and then these are curled. The bigger petals are curled up. Okay. All right, so let's bring the camera back up. Let's get our dimensionals cleaned up. All right. I'll bring you guys back up slowly. Hopefully I don't make you dizzy. All right, there we go. Let's bring it just a little bit higher. And there we go. Sorry guys. Sometimes when I bring you in like that. But I just wanted you to be able to have a good view of me doing the flowers. Okay, so let's put our card together now, okay? All of our flowers are assembled. We're gonna start with this one because it goes on the inside and it's so easy, right? So we're gonna put some adhesive on the backs of these. And then we'll use our tweezers. And then this piece comes in here like this. Boop. There's the inside of our card. Now let's do the outside. This is the fun part. So we're going to attach our circle. I'm going to use dimensionals. 5 is good for me, I think. So we're going to get this part off. And we'll attach our circle in place. Okay. And the first thing I want to do is just make sure that I have it lined up exactly where I want it. I'm going to have it a little bit off onto that yellow edge here. And I want to leave a little room at the top and some room at the bottom. Okay. So we're going to bring it about right there is what I'm guessing will be good for us. All right. So there's our circle. The first flower that I'm going to place is going to be this big one because I need to make sure that it's going to fit and that everything is going to be good on it. So we're going to add a large, one of the regular size dimensionals to the back here. And we're gonna go ahead and pull that off. And this is gonna be our first flower that gets attached onto our card. And I'm making sure that it's onto the actual circle, okay? And then we can play with this later, play with all of these, you know, fluff it how we want when the time comes. So we're gonna place where we want these, and then we're gonna lift after we've placed and make sure that our flowers look how we want them to look, that they all fit, that we're happy with the placement of them. We're gonna put this one over here. We're gonna put this one up here. Like that, and then this one maybe tucked. How does that look to you guys? I think that's a nice placement. Then we'll tuck some leaves in. All right, so the first one we're gonna stick down is gonna be this one. And so I am gonna pull the back off. I'm gonna add a dimensional, and I'm gonna tuck this leaf, make sure this one's up above, and it's gonna be down like that, okay? That petal over the top, okay? Then we're gonna add this one. And we're putting it off to the side because we don't want that dimensional to go down there. We want to actually up onto this piece, and we're going to tuck this one into this corner, you know, where it meets, wherever you think it looks good. And there's that one. Now let's work on this one. This one is going to get tucked at the bottom. So we'll go ahead and center that one. And then this one is going to get tucked right around this piece, wherever we feel that it looks the best. And we can curl this up, make sure that our petals are wrapped like that. I think this is so pretty. I think I'm gonna put this one above that petal. There we go. All right, and then let's do this one. I think I'm gonna use a mini for that one because it's such a narrow piece. I don't want it to show. All right, so we're gonna tuck this one in around our flower right here. And then our last one, and I'm gonna stick this to one end like that. And that's gonna stick on the outside, okay? Maybe down and a little bit under this petal like that. Maybe right there. All right, so that's my flower placement. Now we're gonna tuck our leaves wherever we feel that they look best. All right, so let me show you the original, okay? So I decided that one of these would look really pretty sticking out there. I wanted maybe this leaf here. I wanted one of these to be tucked like so over these petals. Maybe like that, okay? And that I wanted another like long one tucked here so that we had a little movement. You're gonna lift these petals to do what you want, right? All right, and we're gonna make sure that that's like that. And then this leaf is gonna get tucked. We don't want it to show or cover our beautiful words. How does that look to you guys? I think that looks awesome. So now we have to go about sticking it down. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna add some dimensionals, and I'm gonna pull the backs off of them, or you can use some glue, whatever works for you. So I'm gonna put a dimensional here, and I'm gonna tuck that, and I'm gonna have that stick to that flower. So So I'm going to press that down and it will be stuck. Okay. You can also add a hair of wet adhesive once you know that these petals are going to be down. I don't want adhesive on all of it, but I'm good with those two, and then that being lifted. All right, for this one, we're just going to do wet adhesive, and I'm going to put it on the back. We don't need a lot. We just need it to stay in place underneath my flower. So there's that one. And we're going to just put our finger in there and press that in place. All right, for this one here, I'm also going to put wet adhesive, and I'm going to put it on this end. Okay, because that's what's going to be stuck down. The rest is going to be lifted, and so that's how that one will be. Okay, for this one, I'm also going to use wet adhesive just on this section right here. And we're going to just tuck that underneath and slide it in and have it grab. Perfect. And then for this one also, this side is getting adhesive and that side. So I'm going to lift and tuck and make sure that this doesn't cover my words. And there, press that down to really grab that. That's what we have so far. What do you guys think? You just tuck the leaves, make them fit wherever you think they work. Now, for the embellishment, I chose to use these. These are called Adhesive Backed Sequence Trio. These names are not very inventive. All these adhesive backed stuff. I don't know why they say that. We know that they're adhesive backed, but so I chose to use two small ones and one large. I'm going to do the same thing. So let's go ahead and get our large sequence. We're going to put that up here onto that piece. I want that to really show nice. And then we're going to do a small one down here to fill in that, and a small one down here. I'm happy with that. What do you guys think? I think they look pretty awesome. So if you haven't checked this out, you have this iridescent white, this beautiful peacock, and then I don't know what color that pink that is, but it has some iridescence to it, so it works for lots of different colors. See, you can have some orange tones in there and everything. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I know this is a longer one, but I really wanted to show you how to put together these flowers, how to go about curling them, what works for them, and I really wanted to display this entire set of dies because it's pretty fantastic in my opinion. I hope that you enjoyed this, and I will see you back here tomorrow for another video with the Paper Florist Dies. I think you're going to love these, and you're going to have a lot of fun making all kinds of flowers. The combinations that I made are just my ideas, but feel free to make any combination that you feel works. I'm grateful to have you guys share my videos, please, and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate that support. If you choose to place an order with me, I'm always happy for that support as well. It helps me bring you more videos. So thanks for being here, guys. This is Kelly with Inky Hands Warm Hearts. Happy stamping!